Hi, this is Steve and Kim. We're hosts of the Love Safety Net.
I've got a bit of a question for you today, Steve.
Okay, what's that?
This is one that people are asking me all the time that they want to hear an answer from you.
Okay.
How did you feel when you first found out that you were narcissistic and that it was incurable?
Well, I wasn't very happy about it, and I didn't really believe it at first. But, I didn't know about narcissism at the time, so I had no idea what it was. But then when I found out that there was a book written about it that was called Malignant Narcissism, and that basically that there was no cure, and that the author had actually contacted you through a list and said that it was incurable and there was no hope for me. Well, I really, there was only one thing I really wanted to do at the time, and that was buy every single copy of the book that was on the face of the earth and have it delivered en masse overnight into his swimming pool. And because I was really that angry at him for suggesting and actually contacting you directly and suggesting that I wasn't going to get better. At first it was real anger and disappointment, and then after the anger there was the shock and thought maybe I was never actually going to get better. But we'd done so much other work, and there'd been so much other stuff that had gone on with our relationship before, hadn't there, Kim? Where we knew that we'd faced adversity before, but this was really personal for me. So I was really, really scared, and I didn't want to think that it was something that was my fault. I mean, the whole game before that was that it wasn't my fault, and the whole game that I used to play was that I'd blame everybody else for the troubles in our life. So, do you remember that time as well? I mean, what do you remember from that?
I do remember that time, but you were also behaving so badly in a lot of ways that I probably have different memories of it. And you weren't sort of so forthright back then about your feelings about
No,
things.
that's true.
But I'm not surprised that you felt angry about that. I know also that, we were working in the organic food industry back then, and we'd seen a lot of cases of people being told that they had incurable diseases and them overcoming them and getting better. There was the situation of Jan's son who overcame his schizophrenia, and so I think that you really had the benefit there of having some people in our circle of friends that had already beaten the incurable tag with other problems.
Yeah, that's right.
But I don't know if you were actually really in any state of mind by that stage to have that kind of hope. Because to me, well, how it looked to me back then is that you were just had given up hope anyway. You were just had decided that your life was just, ruined.
Yeah, and I think, the important thing was that I was just so ready to blame, to just all of my inadequacies I was not ready to face, really. I'd never done any gap work, really. So I was just ready to blame it on other people and just pretend that it wasn't really my fault.
Like me.
Yeah, well, especially you.
Yeah, it was all my fault, man.
So, and that was probably the reason why we were fighting so much, because there was a lot of, because I wasn't really facing my own inadequacies, I was pushing the blame onto you, and it was just causing fights because there was no real truth in it. There was no substance. There's nothing to build on. So it was just a disastrous time for us.
That and maybe the credit cards you were hiding from me.
Yeah, and that wasn't really helping. Well, those big lies weren't really. There was nothing for us to really build any kind of trust on.
No.
The complete opposite. So yeah, in a nutshell, that was it. But look, I guess just to say quickly, I really thank the people that say that narcissism is incurable, because it was probably the spark that made me want to get better.
That'd be right.
Yeah. Well, just to prove them wrong.